Alex Jensen in a nearly empty McEwen Pavilion on this Saturday evening. St. Mary's goes unbeaten in their 3 home games this week, including 2 league wins. Let's break it down on Gaels Chalk Talk. St. Mary's goes 3-0 on the week, including 2 conference wins. The first game of the week, a win over Utah Valley, and of course the big win against BYU on New Year's Eve. And tonight, a 79-46 win over San Diego. The Gaels run their winning streak to 7 straight and now sit at first place in the conference at 4-0. Depth has been a huge proponent to this team's success, a huge reason why the Gaels have been able to score so many points per game, right now at over 80 points per contest, second in the conference and near the tops in the nation. 8 Gaels average 6 or more points per game, and it really seems like any night it could be a different guy. For example, as Stefan Gonzalez had a slow scoring last couple weeks, tonight he steps in, knocks in 4 threes, and ends up with 12 points. Last week was Evan Fitzner's turn with 21 and 20 points. Jock Landale has come on of late and scored in double digits for the last 2 games. And you look at a guy like Calvin Hermanson, who is at almost 11 points per game, 21 against BYU, and 11 here tonight against San Diego as he has started to find his shot. But for St. Mary's, a different guy can step up on any night, and that makes the Gaels really tough to defend because they can put out a lineup at any time where all 5 guys can put the ball through the basket. The rotation of bigs on Randy Bennett's team this season has been impressive as well, and it has only got better as the year has gone on. Dane Pinot, a good example. Tonight, 17 points on 8 of 9 shooting with 5 rebounds, which means his scoring numbers will improve to probably over 11 points per game. He averaged almost 11 coming into this game along with 9 rebounds. But even more impressively, he's going to be over 60% from the field heading into next week's game against LMU on Thursday, as Dane was 8 of 9 from the floor on this evening against San Diego. If you can't see that Jock Landale has been getting better with every game he's played, then you haven't been watching closely enough. As Jock, with 8.7 points per game, that will only rise after tonight as well, where he goes for 11 points after a 14-7 night against BYU. And he was really impressive against the Cougars as Jock drew a tough defensive matchup on the offensive side for St. Mary's anyway, going up against Nate Austin, a 6'11", long 6'11", who can block some shots and pull down some rebounds. But Jock was perfect from the field in that game at 5 of 5, also perfect from the free throw line at 14 points and 7 rebounds. You don't want to get too far ahead of yourself with Jock, as he is still getting better, but the tools are there for him to be an all-league type of guy by the end of his career. Evan Fitzner also, we talked about his 20 and 21 last week, and he continues to be efficient as you look at tonight, just 6 points, but he took just 3 shots. He also had 3 rebounds and 3 assists. So Fitzner, along with causing matchup nightmares for the opponent. At 6'10", he can stretch the floor. He plays within the offense, as the rest of this team does, and contributes in ways that he had a big block shot against BYU as well. So those 3 guys in particular in that bigs rotation have been impressive for St. Mary's. The Gaels have also done a great job this season taking care of the basketball. The fact that they haven't turned the ball over very much, as you look at the assisted turnover ratio numbers coming into this ball game tonight on Saturday against San Diego. They are first in the NCAA in assisted turnover ratio at 2.06. Joe Rahan himself 7th in the NCAA in that category with a 4.4 assisted turnover ratio. Emmett Nahr with a 3.3 assisted turnover ratio. When your starting backcourt is giving you those type of numbers and taking care of the ball the way they have been, it's tough for your opponent to capitalize on mistakes, which have been few and far between for St. Mary's. They are also 7th in the NCAA in fewest turnovers per game coming into this one at 9.8. The Gaels' high watermark for turnovers in a game, just 13 against Manhattan earlier this season. So not only have the Gaels not turned it over very much this year at all, but they seem to be getting better in that category as well. Just 7 turnovers against BYU, which was crucial because you know how quickly BYU can turn your miscues into points. St. Mary's will now hit the road for the first time this season away from the Bay Area and take on LMU and Pepperdine, 2 teams that are thought to be improved this season. In fact, Pepperdine picked to come ahead of St. Mary's by the West Coast Conference coaches in the preseason poll, coming in 3rd. So the Gaels leave the Bay Area for the first time, and how will they fare? That has yet to be determined. But one thing is for sure, St. Mary's is certainly better than many prognosticators thought they would be this season. At 13-1, they pick up their 7th straight win tonight against San Diego and sit in first place in the West Coast Conference at 4-0.